You know, it seems every projector on the market right now is running software that's 5 years old. Well, I can tell you, I have finally found one that isn't. This is the Aurzen EAZZE D1 Max, and it's the world's first projector to have Google TV 14.0 installed natively, ready to go. That might not sound like a big deal until I show you what that means for your setup, so let's get into it. But first off, who is the D1 Max actually built for? Honestly, quite a broad range of people. If you're a sports fan or someone who watches a lot of action movies or anime, or if you just want to have a proper big screen experience at home and without having to spend thousands on a TV, then this is squarely aimed at you. It works brilliantly in a bedroom or living room, but actually, thanks to the fact it's fairly compact and has a great number of features that allow for auto keystone, auto focus, it's going to be perfect just for taking outside for a garden movie night. And to be honest, the brightness on this thing means it could easily be used in a conference room for business meetings. And actually the 1000 lumens here is pretty good. I can easily still use this even if I have the door wide open next to the screen with the bright sunlight coming straight into the room. Yes, it is a projector, which means it's always going to be better suited for a darker environment. But even if that isn't possible for you, or if you want to use this in the daytime, it is absolutely capable of being used in that way. But right, let's get to it, because most projectors, if they're even a smart projector at all with apps built in, are likely going to be running Google OS or Android OS 11.0, and that was released way back in 2021. But Google TV has advanced quite a bit since then, and version 14.0 offers a number of improvements that are definitely worth using. Now, if you don't have a projector that's capable of running the latest version of Google TV, then a lot of people choose to have some kind of streaming stick that supports that. But obviously that's more tech you need to invest in, more remote controls, more clutter, and it's just so much easier to have everything you need built into this one box. And I have gone into the Google interface and I have double checked that 14.0 is the version that was installed straight out of the box, and it is, as you can see here. And there are two really good reasons to love the fact that this does come with that native latest version. The first being just the incredible increase in optimization. It's so often the case, you get your smart TV or a smart projector and yeah, you get it set up and it is just as sluggish as anything to use. But the Aurzen D1 Max in conjunction with Google TV 14.0 just runs lightning quick, it's extremely responsive, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate that. In terms of the smart features, all of the popular apps are built directly into Google TV, so you have your Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, YouTube, all of your regional based apps, in my case UK apps such as BBC iPlayer and catch-up services for all the other channels as well. But the feature I do want to talk about a little bit, because it is simply not available on those Android 11.0 models, is MEMC, or motion estimation and motion compensation. In my opinion, this works best for fast-moving videos such as sports content, but it is effectively going to remove the motion blur that is often present. I wouldn't use it for every kind of content. Sometimes motion blur is an advantage rather than something that detracts from the experience. But yeah, for sport in particular, it really is a net benefit. And you're probably going to struggle to watch a game of football without it once you've tried it out. So yeah, the system does feel noticeably snappier day to day. The menus load quickly, the streaming apps launch faster, and there are also 3 energy modes, which means you can tune things specifically for your needs and will depend on whether you want standby features like Google Cast or whether you want to prioritise power saving. But Aurzen are also making that big claim to the brightness of this projector, bearing in mind this does fit in the budget category of projectors. The D1 Max is rated at 1000 ANSI lumens, and that figure is SGS certified, so that's an independent body. This isn't self-certification that we see with these ludicrous numbers that are posted on other model spec sheets. And as I mentioned at the start, you know, even with the door wide open, the image from this projector in a brightened environment is still very watchable. Now, they've got native 1080p resolution, 4K input support, and also HDR10 functionality. The image is sharp, the colours are punchy, surprisingly so for a projector at this price point, and the contrast does hold up well on the kind of content that it's designed for. And in terms of screen size, this thing can throw a super wide image. I have it set to 100 inches, but even at my current throw distance of about 3 meters, I could increase this substantially if I wished. But one of the worst things I hate is generally just setting up a new projector. Well, I'm pleased to say none of that needs to be a concern with the D1 Max. In fact, quite literally with the push of a button, the projector will automatically adjust the image and you don't have to do anything. I can't emphasize how much I love these auto-adjusting features here. They just make my life so much more simple, especially if you're going to be moving this around from room to room. And if you just want to auto-adjust your keystone, then there is the option to do that as well. So ultimately, where does this leave us? Well, I'd say the D1 Max is a genuinely well-rounded projector. And as much as I love the auto screen correction, I have to say I think the Google TV 14.0 implementation is the real standout MVP here. It's not just a software version number change just for marketing, it actually does translate to a better app experience. I think the MEMC implementation for that smoother motion is going to be super popular among sports fans. And just generally, I'm a big fan of the faster, more responsive system overall. It is a nice touch that the 1000 lumen brightness is able to hold up in a daylight situation better than other projectors at this price point. And there are also built-in Dolby audio speakers here, which honestly, as far as projector speakers go, are pretty impressive. And depending on where you position this in the room in comparison to where you are, you can actually get some really immersive sound out of this thing. So if you're in the market for a new home projector and you want something that's running current software with a proper smart TV experience just built directly into it, then I would say the EAZZE D1 Max is well worth your attention. So I'll drop a link to it in the description below and you can go ahead and check the current price and any live offers down there. Aurzen do occasionally run promotions periodically, so it's worth having a look. And if you found the video useful, please do subscribe for more and let me know in the comments what you are planning to use a projector for. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time.